2025 F1 testing is done and dusted as the checkered flag waved on day 3 in Bahrain. It was quite an eventful day, with teams getting in their last chances of track running before the first race in Australia. Day 3 didn't go so smoothly for Haas, as part of Ollie Behrman's engine cover blew off during a push lap in the AM session that hampered his running. Aston Martin also had a tricky day, as first Lance Stroll wasn't feeling well, so Alonso stepped in for the AM session. Then Alonso's car halted to a stop at the end of the pit lane, but eventually the AMR 25 got going. However, in the PM session, Lance Stroll went out and completed 34 laps before calling it a day due to his illness. Friday saw the hottest track temperatures of testing so far in the low 30s, and many drivers struggled with rear-end stability and tire wear. Lando Norris had a couple of moments in the AM session, culminating in a big slide at turn 4 off track. We had 2 strange red flag delays on day 3, first being some glass on the track due to the starter's booth window breaking, and then the other during the start of the PM session where a bus wandered onto the live track. Verstappen and Red Bull spent quite a lot of time in the garage changing floors and front wings to see which works best. They did bring a new spec front wing that they tried on and off during the whole day. They continued opting for shorter runs rather than race simulations like their rivals. When the reigning champion was on track, he was practicing his hand gestures for the season and potentially his celebratory donuts with a little half spin down at turn 1 in the PM session. Verstappen completed 81 laps, but managed to go P2 just 2/100ths of a second off the fastest time of the day, which in turn was set by George Russell in the last 5 minutes of the session with a 1:29.5, both drivers using the C3 tire. Alex Albon finished Williams' solid 2025 testing with a P3 set on the C4 tire, and also the most laps on the day with 137. His teammate Carlos Sainz ends up with the fastest time of 2025 testing with a 1:29.3 set on day 2. Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton spent most of the last hour of testing in the garage behind closed doors, finishing the day with only 47 laps, good enough for P6. Haas continued their long runs by completing the most laps on day 3 with 162. And so, at the end of the 3 days of testing, it's Mercedes who racked up the most mileage with 458 laps, just one more than Haas. Red Bull and Aston Martin ended up with the fewest laps completed with 314 and 306 respectively. So that'll do it for testing in 2025. That means next up is the first race in Australia in 2 weeks' time. Drop a comment down below with your winners and losers from testing, and be sure to subscribe to the Backmarkers F1 show to follow the season along with us.